It was summer on Sodor. The sky was bright blue, the fields were full of flowers, the birds sang sweetly, and the engines were working hard. As Gordon pulled into the station, he felt very proud. His new coat shone in the sun, he was right on time, and no one has bothered him once, just the way he liked it. Suddenly he heard a whistle and a whoosh of steam as Henry rushed by. "Out of the way!" he called. "Urgent delivery coming through!" He suddenly wheezed black smoke from his boiler and covered Gordon from funnel to footplate. Not far from the Sodor steamworks was an old run-down garage. It used to be run for carrying petrol for cars, until one day a long time ago it caught fire and it closed down. This week it's going to be built up back into its original state, and it's going to be added with a car wash to wash cars with. Gordon could never understand why it was there. "Pah! Useless heap of junk," he grumbled. "They can demolish it as soon as they like. Car wash indeed. Why don't we want one when we got an engine Sodor engine and car wash on Armament Barry Yard? Tell me that." None of the engines could, because every time they tried, Gordon never pays attention, so they didn't bother to try. Meanwhile, the Vat Controller was talking on his mobile phone. "Ah, Sodor Gazette, you say? You got my letter, didn't you? Yes, I suppose you could take my photograph, yeah? No, 29 years in the service, my good man, not 10. Meanwhile, Gordon was arguing with Henry. "Why did you reach steam on me earlier, Henry?" he huffed angrily. "I'm sorry, Gordon. I had an urgent delivery to make to the Sodor power station. Without any coal, there'll be no electricity on Sodor. What's I supposed to do?" "And he had problems with his boiler lately," huffed Thomas. "It's not his fault he can't contain its own coal dust." "Shut up, Thomas," huffed Gordon. "Who said you were part of this discussion? Especially because he tried to mock me twice with a jet engine, and while chasing a number 8 kite from a season, that must not be mentioned again. In fact, too." "And anyway, Henry, I can easily beat you. I can beat you in a race any day." "Silence!" boomed the Vat Controller. "Now don't forget, team, it's my 29 years long service award a week on Saturday, and there's going to be a special award ceremony, and lots of visitors are coming, and there's going to be an Engine of the Month award too. Emily is to pick up the visitors from Brendan Docks on the night, but she has had an accident at Vickerstown. The other engines are busy, and you three are the only ones available, and if you all do your jobs well throughout this week, one of you can pick up the visitors, and maybe you might even be Engine of the Month. Now, Henry, are you feeling strong?" "Yes, sir, strong as ever." "Good. I want you to go to Vickerstown and help Emily to the steamworks. Thomas and Gordon, it's your usual jobs. Chuff your hardest." And he left. Thomas was excited. "I hope I'll be chosen to pick up the visitors," he said hopefully. "Well, you can forget it, little Thomas, because that award and that job is mine." "Not if I do well and finish my jobs first, Gordon." And Henry reached away. "Pah! I can do better than that Black 5 any day. And I hope one day that you'll be able to follow my real steps, Thomas. A3s like me always win." Oh! Ow! What was that you were saying about A3s being reliable, Gordon? "Oh, shut up, Thomas. Ow, that actually really hurt. Ow!" Soon the clouds have gone away and the sky brightened up. Henry arrived to pick up Emily. She had been taking a long goods train full of supplies to the Vicarstown station. They had pushed her off the rails, so she was a bit damaged on the side of the wheels. Some of the trucks are broken, while some were still on the tracks, but some were a bit damaged and some looked sorry for themselves. "Thank you for coming to pick me up, Henry," reached Emily. "No problem, Emily," reached Henry proudly. "Anything for a really useful engine to do. Now come on, let's go." The Sodor steamworks was quiet. The two engines were very surprised to see Thomas already there with Gorton. "Bubbling boilers! What happened to Gorton?" asked Emily. Gorton reversed round the bend too fast and came off the track. He bumped his boiler and his valve popped, reached Thomas. Gorton grumped. Henry reached. "Well, I guess I'm going to be an engine of the month and get to take the visitors after all," he boasted, and he reached grandly away back to his work. After Thomas had gone as well, Gorton noticed a truck from behind the steamworks building. It was filled with bad coal. It was covered in coal dust and covered in oil. It was to be taken back to the docks from America. It gave Gorton an idea. He was going to play a trick on Henry the next time he comes to pick up his high-quality coal. A few days later, it was Saturday, and everyone was getting ready for the big ceremony for the Fat Controller. Donald and Douglas were taking supplies of sandwiches, cakes, and drinks for everyone to enjoy, while Lisa was to take some ice cream for the children to enjoy, along with tables and chairs. Thomas smiled at his friend. "I wish I could help with the ceremony," he told them, "but I'm needed on my branch line, sadly." Just then, they saw Henry coming. He was struggling to make steam properly. It was because Gorton had tricked him into making the workman pour the bad coal into his tender. "Oh, look at Henry, he's like a real oil burner," said Douglas. He was right. Then there was trouble. As Henry puffed past, he whisked dusty steam everywhere and covered the engines. "Well, I do declare my shiny green paintwork is a mess," fumed Lisa. "How dreadful," agreed Thomas. "Oh, you may think black engines don't look dirty, but this is ridiculous," fumed Donald. Luigi and Guido said nothing, because their Ferrari kit was ruined. Henry had stammered and stuttered to the steamworks. His boiler had had it, he was stinky steam, and his pistons had popped. He couldn't move. Then Gorton rolled by. He was pleased to see that his plan was working perfectly. "Will you admit that the A3 should be the one to win the award?" he huffed. Henry grumped. "No, buzz off! Goodbye!" And Gorton puffed grandly away, leaving Henry to crumble on the track. Then there was trouble. As Gorton approached the junction to the car wash, his driver couldn't apply his brakes. Something had jammed, so he tried reducing steam, but Gorton was still going too fast. Junction and the car wash loomed ahead. Thomas was there waiting at the signal. He had just been cleaned and was taking the afternoon branch line train. He could see Gorton coming. And with a whoosh and a crash, Gorton rolled off the rails and rolled into the car wash. Then, everything seemed to happen at once. The car wash started working. Gorton was surprised. It wasn't like the engine wash at all, but it felt tight and very small. Gorton gasped and everything seemed to work. Brushes scrubbed, rollers tickled, and water and soap jetted everywhere. "Thomas! Thomas, do something!" he groaned. Thomas thought it was very funny, but he tried hard not to laugh. Then there was trouble. Gorton was too big, and he wouldn't suit the car wash settings. And the car wash suddenly set fire. Thomas shoved away as fast as he could to get help. Just run! Just run!" he huffed to himself as he ran as fast as he could. Later, Gorton was pulled by Edward and shunted by Percy and Duck into the yard. Thomas was there. He wanted to give some kind advice. "Hey Gorton, you're a real pain in the wash," he teased. Gorton wanted to hiss at Thomas, but he couldn't. Water from the car wash had put out its fire, it dampened the inside of its boiler, and the foam was in there too. Oh, the indignity! "Now, Gordon, oh, the silliness! You have caused confusion and delay. Look what you've done to Henry. He is broken down. Also, I heard from the station master that your trick has ruined the food, ice cream and the drinks for the award ceremony tonight. As punishment, neither you or Henry will pick up the visitors, because I need really useful engines, not really silly or broken ones." "Yes, sir. Sorry, sir," Gordon huffed quietly. Then the Fat Controller turned to Thomas. "Now, Thomas, listen. Gordon has got foam in his boiler. Henry is broken down and it's not feeling well. All the other engines are busy, so we only got you to get everything ready for the award ceremony. Do you think you can do that?" Thomas smiled. "Yes, sir." Thomas was pleased to be helping out after all. He felt very proud as he rushed around the island getting everything ready. It was hard work to get everything ready, but by nightfall, everything was ready just in time for the visitors. The Fat Controller was given his medal. "And now," he announced, "it's the engine of the month. And the engine of the month this month is... Thomas!" he boomed grandly. Thomas was surprised and very pleased. "Because, Thomas, you did your jobs well. You didn't quarrel with your friends like Gordon and Henry, and you helped us to get ready in time. Thank you for being a helpful engine." Everyone cheered and whistled, except Gordon and Henry. "I should have won that silly award," he grumbled. "Instead, all I've got is a clean, bubbly boiler." And then suddenly, he started to cough soapy bubbles right out of his mouth, all because of the soapy foam in its boiler. Thomas chuckled and sniggered. He's going to enjoy thinking of a list of car wash jokes.